to be corrected on issues. But he must learn. Let his governor call him to order. It is not on a day like that you now come to town. Oyetola stole so and so. Adeleke Banik, who was working with Oyetola, he mentioned quite a number of names, and he kept on repeating, including your own radio station here, on so many radio stations. We are going to expose them. We are going to jail them. We are going to make sure they are in trouble. On a day when there is the polity already heated up. Now, let me tell you what I would have thought if I were to be a militant member of either political parties that day. As a militant member of the PDP, oh, those thieves want to come back. We will never allow them. We will shed the last of our blood to ensure that those thieves never come back. That is the thinking of the militant member.
That would be the implication of what the commissioner said.
Yes. And then for the militant member of the APC, oh, they are calling our leaders thieves. Can you see these people? In fact, we must repossess our own possession. That is his own thinking, the militant member of the political party. And like I've said on a radio program of your station this morning, there is a time and a season for everything under heaven. There is a time to expose a past governor Oyetola if truly he stole. Not at this season. And in any case, stealing is not an offense that can be overlooked by the effluxion of time. 7 years from now, if you discovered that I stole 7 years ago, which will be now 14 years apart, you can still come back to say, Gokiomibodun stole so. And these are the evidences of what he stole 14 years ago, and we want him to account for it. Don't use that to heat up the polity. It was completely wrong of that Honorable Commissioner for Information to go on so many radio stations and perhaps television stations on that day. That was rather insightful. That should stop.
So you think both sides didn't handle the situation well?
That's obvious to me. Neither sides handled it well enough. I've told you the governor himself did well.
With that press conference?
Oh yes, he had information available to him. Didn't the events of the following day justify that press conference?
So somehow we're going to say that also from the statements he made about
from the statements who made
the governor, sorry,
the governor,
okay. Governor Ademola Adeleke made, saying that the past governor Oyetola, former governor Oyetola, was inciting crisis because he is the nephew of the president, that he had actually talked to security agencies and they were actually towing his path. And somehow, like Mr. Femi asked our previous guest said, didn't it actually come out to play? Because it seemed like the security agencies were actually listening or actually towing the path of the former governor. So is that not a justified fact?
Uzoms, you are asking a rhetorical question that I already answered. I said the events of Monday seemed to justify those allegations that the governor made on.
Doesn't that say a lot about security agencies? If actually they're going to stand in the face of war or chaos and they just keep silent because politics is involved?
The Nigerian security agencies are a reflection of the Nigerian society. And virtually everybody is so partisan. There are only a few people that will insist on being objective, and even such people are hated by both sides. I can imagine by the time this interview perhaps goes round and enough people see it, then the APC people want to cut my head because I said what they did by the invasion was wrong. And then the PDP people think that my nose should be removed because I said what the Honorable Commissioner for Information said was insightful. The security agencies ought to see themselves as being arbiters and peace enforcers in this situation. And I don't think they ought to have been seen manifestly taking sides in all of the imbroglio.
So it will, let's call it what it is, because the PRO of the Nigerian Police Osun State Command spoke on the matter and said they had different meetings, the commissioner had different meetings with different parties. But just like we have said, and just like I said, posited to our first guest, and let me ask, categorically, will you say that the Nigeria Police Osun State Command failed in that regard on Monday?
Well, what I saw, honestly, is what I can discuss. And
yeah, with the,
I was
at least
going,
to the extent of the information available, that they had it coming, that it was palpable that this was going to happen. And that's where you expect them to do a show of force. Everybody should stand down. But the situation happened, people died, and now they are saying they are reinforcing. They are bringing personnel from other states. Who does that?
Well, Femi, you have already answered the question. Need I add anything? You already gave an opinion of what you thought.
No, not an opinion. I'm just saying that. Will you say that they failed?
No, you can't put those words in my mouth. What I can say is that if I were in the shoes of the State Commissioner of Police, I would have been better prepared. I would have made sure that people were put, and I would have gotten the way they get multiple security agencies involved in elections. Then you can bring the multiple security agencies together again and station them in headquarters of local government areas. If I were the police commissioner, would have contacted police commissioners of neighboring states, putting them on notice that just in case I need reinforcement, I would have put people other than the ones in those headquarters of local government areas. There should have been something like a show of power, like you said, or is this show of strength or whatever
show of force.
Show of force by a patrol team going through major cities and even passing through rural communities to let them know we do not want something wrong. Now, so if you want me to now put it that what the state commissioner of police did was wrong or right, I won't put it that way. I would say if I were in his shoes, these are the things I would have done. For instance, I have admitted that if I were the governor, the way he gave the press statement, the press conference on Sunday, is exactly the way I would have given it. And I would have come up with those allegations and then left the former governor to defend himself or not. But if I were the Honorable Commissioner for Information, I would not now go out on that same day, hitting up the polity and inciting both parties against one another.
Now, for the benefit of distinguished and esteemed viewers who haven't seen the position of the Osun State Police on the issue, please take a look.
Happened that we witnessed in Osun State yesterday, and that even left 6 persons dead and many people are presently hospitalized. Thank God that those people are recuperating now at the hospital. The police command is not happy with what happened yesterday, and various groups have been called earlier for meetings. There have been series of meetings by the Commissioner of Police, CP Mohammed Umar Abba, PSC, in order to ensure that this does not happen. But it's unfortunate that it really does happen. The command expressed its deepest sympathy to those affected by the criminal acts that resulted in the loss of lives and property damage. The CP assures a thorough investigation and promising that the perpetrators will face the wrath of law. Citizens are urged to remain calm and patient as the police work diligently to restore peace back into our dear states. Troublemakers disrupting the state peace are hereby warned to desist from this ungodly act henceforth.
That's the position of the police.
I don't see anything wrong with that statement.
Right. All right. Now, both parties have said, according to them, they recorded losses. And by the way, for us on this program, it's not about who has recorded the most loss. Every soul, every life is precious.
Exactly.
Granted.
Osun has recorded losses. Whether
Exactly.
APC or PDP, don't people switch parties like anything by the day anyway?
Now, the governor, Nolge, has said its members should stay away from the local councils. Same thing as the NLC. The governor said that position yesterday because we can't afford to have this. And it looks, many persons are even kind of panicking. Should I go out? Should I not go out? If I have my shops or offices around the local secretariat, obviously those persons will not want to come out. What does that do to the economy of the state when, you know, state councils, local government secretariats are being grounded in the face of this?
It's not,
and it's not looking at are coming back anytime soon.
It's not the local government secretariats alone. You just said it too, that even shop owners in the precincts of some of those local government headquarters may also be a little afraid. So their personal economies will be adversely affected. And that, when you aggregate together, is collective loss for us in Osun State. It's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. And what does that speak of the politicians? You are one as well. You might not belong to any of the parties, right? But people will say politicians, that what politicians cannot circumvent possibly does not exist. But with what we have, are you embarrassed that the politicians are still what people believe they are? Selfish lots.
Listen, it's not about politicians.
It's about who?
It's about the people.
How so?
Because the people are themselves the politicians. You are a politician, I'm a politician. You may not be a card-carrying member of any political party, but the truth is you have your own biases, you have your own preferences. They may be permanent, they may be shifting. Let's discuss more about the people. The politicians came out from amongst the people. As we have rogue politicians, we have rogue pastors and imams, rogue broadcasters, rogue police officers, and all that. But pray, there are fantastic police officers, great pastors, superb imams, and very, very admirable broadcasters. So it's from amongst the people. They are good politicians, but if the ones that we see and we reference are those ones that are hitting up the polity, it's not just about politicians, it's about us as a people. Listen, I will always refer to this. You say politicians buy votes. From whom do they buy the votes? Is it not from the people?
Some will say the politicians made them that way. They weaponize the poverty.
So why should they allow themselves to be that way? Why can't they live above that and then reorientate the politicians? Why must they join the bad lot and therefore claim to be innocent beneficiaries? It's all of us. And the people should think twice before they join anybody. I'm not going to say politicians now. In the evil of breaking into any local government council, or in the evil of saying somebody has stolen, then go and devastate his office. I just don't want to mention names. I heard that premises of certain politicians were devastated, were sacked, maybe on Monday or some other time within the state, and these are amongst the people that were being alleged to have stolen. We need to be careful. So don't join the mob to do evil. So it's about the people also. So even if there are politicians that are doing anything evil and seeming to want to lead you to do evil, you refrain from doing evil. Let the people of Osun allow calm to reign in our state. This state is for all of us. And all of us must recognize that this being our Jerusalem, we should work toward its peace, we should pray for its peace, and we should all be vocal in pointing out those who may be inciting the polity and who may be hitting up the polity, that they should calm down. And let all of us collectively in this state calm down. There is nothing that any politician or any other person is pursuing by way of power or of wealth or riches that is worth the taking of the life of any other person. Those that are gone forever. They are dead and gone forever. Please.
Right. It
should stop.
This state is for all of us, right? Yes, like you rightly said. But I'll also come back to the point where you said we should be able to reorientate the leaders. Now,
yes, and that's part of the responsibilities of you broadcasters. So that's why I said we are all involved. You have your own faults.
That's why we're having this conversation.
That's why we're having this conversation, right?
I appreciate this conversation.
Right.
And some of the time, like Femi rightly said, some of those politicians don't actually give people or give the ordinary citizens that room to actually be able to.
People should establish their own rules. Look, all of the politicians, in quotes, those ones that you call politicians, card-carrying members of political parties in Nigeria are not. I don't have empirical figures. It is just a guesstimate. And estimates based on my observation cannot be more than 10% of the people. So why can't the rest of the 90% of the people determine and say, no, we are not going to allow violence in our state. We are not going to allow buying and selling of votes at the next election. We are not going to allow this. This is what we want. The people should get up. And a lot of reorientation should be done by media organizations like yours. You are doing well. I'm not saying that you are not doing right, but you can do a lot better as well.
How about those that are actually brutalized? How about those that are forced?
It's evil. It is evil to brutalize anyone. It is bad. And I have not seen that person born of man and woman that can force Gokiomigodun to go and do evil or brainwash me to go and do evil. The evil that I do, if eventually I get incited to do it, must have been in me all along. That's why I said it's about the people. Okay? The people themselves always wanted to sell their votes. So they see somebody who wants to buy the vote, and so then they sell. The people themselves always wanted the excitement of attacking and killing others. They always wanted to loot, because some people don't even go about, it's not their business about who is killed or who is beaten. They go looting from the shop of the biscuit seller, the rice seller, and all that. It is evil.
Right.
You've seen that happen in this state before too. They said the government was keeping certain, it's not even only here, in the entirety of Nigeria.
People use the opportunity to loot.
Yes, you said they were keeping certain things.
And vandalize.
Yes, you said they were keeping certain things away from the people that ought to have been distributed. But how about private warehouses that were sacked?
Very well.
Were those ones also held by government?
All right. And before we say buys this morning, let's switch gears. And I like to say the last of the Mohicans, you know, nonagenarians, they are leaving.
Yes.
Pa Edwin Clark. Yes. Yesterday was announced that passed on a day or two before Pa Adebanjo, in which I think, and I want to assume, at least you know closely. Now, these are nonagenarians, one 95, the other 97.
Yes.
And these are persons who are vocal. They are known not to have stand on the fence on any matter. Whatever they believe in, rightly or wrongly, they come out.
And therefore, enemies, because
they don't care
they were
who is at the end of affairs. They speak their minds. Let me
always spoke the truth to power.
Let me have your positions. 95, 97, Edwin Clark, Pa Edwin Clark, Pa Adebanjo has passed them. Your memory of them.
Both of them, I would say, were actually 97. Because Pa Adebanjo celebrated his 96th birthday April 10 last year, and would have been 97 April 10 this year. So just a couple of weeks from now. So I would say both died at the age of 97. Maybe one already marked the 97, the other was looking forward to marking it, and it happened. Well, people eventually must die someday. My own father died officially at the age of 100, but I will put him at about 102 in reality. I mean, checking his trajectory, because if truly he died at 100, it means he started primary school at the age of 5, which was highly improbable at that time. So I would assume he started probably about the age of 7. and then died at about 102. That's for my own father, late Julius Ladwin Joyo. And then of recent, Papa Adebanjo and Papa Edwin Flack. What I can say is we should appreciate the legacies of these ones. The fact that they always spoke the truth to power, the fact that they always were on the side of Nigeria. For those two people, it's not about the side of this one is close to me, that one is not close to me. I was looking at one platform and somebody said, oh, Papa Adebanjo was not on the side of the Yoruba people when it mattered most. And I said, people are missing it. If Obafemi Awolowo was alive, last year, was it 2 years ago now, when the elections held, if Obafemi Awolowo will take sides, he will be on the side of Peter Obi, because Obafemi Awolowo, no, I've said that several times and I can easily prove it. Yeah. When Obafemi Awolowo started with people like my father and Ayo Adebanjo and others, when they started Afenifere, by the way, Afenifere is the Yoruba interpretation of the welfareist ideology of the Action Group. And so that was transferred to the Unity Party of Nigeria, that was transferred to the Alliance for Democracy, of which I was a member and tried to contest elections on its platform. And in all those political parties at that time, whenever they were greeting themselves, it was Afenifere, Iriowo, Iriomo, Ire Alafia, Ire Gbogbowa, in Action Group, in the Unity Party of Nigeria, in Alliance for Democracy. So that will tell you that Afenifere is not an organization for Yorubas. It is a political party that has whatever it will sell as its interpretation in all parts of Nigeria. Obafemi Awolowo had a running mate from Eastern Nigeria, Umeadi. So is Umeadi a Yoruba name? But he was a member of the Unity Party of Nigeria, and therefore an Afenifere as at that time. Mala Kachala was governor of Borno State. He was a member of the AD. Okay? Does it mean that he's not an Afenifere because he's a northerner? It's just that we expect that people of the north should also find their own name that will interpret what the welfareist ideology of Awolowo is. Just wait. So I am now saying that in that establishment of Afenifere, when the Obafemi Awolowo composed the anthem, and the stanza 3 of the anthem, it says, "Up, up, Nigeria, and take thine rightful place." It is that same song that was now interpreted into Yoruba, but in changing it to Yoruba, we changed it to Omo Odua Dide, and in any case, Omo Odua could also include certain other people outside of Yoruba land. Now, so Obafemi Awolowo would have stood for Nigeria and would have sided with anyone that equity would suggest should be the next president of Nigeria, and therefore would have supported Peter Obi, the flag bearer of the Labour Party as at that time.
Take there, but are there lessons that we can learn from these?
That's what I'm saying. The lessons that we can learn,
especially from the fact that leaders,
that's what I'm saying,
always claim to be their followers. Because everybody is Obafemi Awolowo's follower, Sardauna's follower, Nnamdi Azikiwe follower. The last of the Mohicans,
Ayo Adebanjo, was a follower of Obafemi Awolowo in spirit and in demonstration and practice until his last moment, because he stood for the unity of Nigeria, he stood for equity, he stood for egalitarianism. Need I also remind you that the second stanza of the Afenifere anthem says, egalitarianism is a national watchword, which means, and egalitarianism means, as the Igbo was born, was the Yoruba born, was the Fulani born. So it is not a matter of he is my kinsman, and therefore he's the only one that is allowed to steal.
Okay, from these late
anybody that steals should be caught. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So whether it's my cousin or not, a thief is a thief.
Right.
And whether it's my neighbor or cousin or not, any other person who is good and should have a rightful access to a position should be given.
Okay.
Yes,
do we
Uzom.
still have these leaders, or have we lost it totally?
We cannot lose it totally without sounding immodest. I am part of the army, and there are people who are still continuing with that thinking and with that tendency. The deputy leader of Afenifere today is Oba Oladipo Olaitan. He's also from Osun, like me. Okay? He's continuing with that legacy. We have people like Shoposhoni Bare. He's continuing with that legacy. He's from Ogun State. We have people like Tola Moboluni. He's continuing with that legacy. We have people like Akin Onigbide. We have people like Moga Jiboyega Adejumo that you have invited here before. We have people like Akin Oshuntokun. We have people like Dele Faro Timi, who is also from Osun State here. I am from Osun State here. We have people like Bashono Soni from Oyo State. I can mention from every state. We still have our army intact.
Okay.
One general has fallen. Others will be promoted.
Yeah, we should go. But just this last question. Does it seem like these egalitarians that you've mentioned are not given the opportunity to actually come into power to be able to set Nigeria straight?
Uzoms, you love asking rhetorics. Gokiomigbadu is an egalitarian. Was he given that opportunity in Osun State?
But it has been said that power is not given, it's taken,
Right.
isn't it?
Exactly. So,
power is not given
and that is why I also maintain that someday, if people will only stick to APC and PDP, then some of us, in eating a frog, will get one that has eggs inside of it. If we will still contest any election. We will choose either PDP or APC. But when we get into power, we will do welfareism that will pay the people.
Are you saying something here that we need to know?
Yes, what we need to know is that we have observed.
Work with APC or PDP if need be.
Oh yes, definitely. I'm not hiding that. If I'm contesting any election.
Why are you staying with the SDP?
Oh, no. I left the SDP a week after the election.
So you might pitch your tent going forward.
Definitely, because I have seen that there are rogues in every political party. I am watching. I am watching. I am watching because there is no ideology. There is no good party. There is no bad party. But wherever I put my lot, I will bring my goodness into it and ensure that my principles, my reasoning on egalitarianism will be what
as they say,
into governance.
Time shall tell. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Former Guber candidate and, of course, public affairs analyst, Canon Gokeomigbodun. Thank you for your time and your take.
Thank you, Femi. Thank you, Zoms.
All right, we should go, Zoms.
Yeah, we should go. We'll see you tomorrow for the Thursday edition of Morning Spring. Stay with us. I remain Zoms Okechukwu. See you tomorrow.
You can have a recap of this program on our YouTube channel at Western Spring TV. Femi Ojo is my name. May Osun prosper. May Nigeria prosper. Bye.